Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Tuesday evening here on our YouTube channel. As usual, we're going to carry on with selected excerpts. As you know, we've got a Congress coming up on the weekend, so it'll be a good preparation for us. Also, just let's give an announcement in the beginning of the lesson. Next week on Tuesday, we don't have a lesson, okay, because we won't be around. Maybe we'll have one from the archive, but it won't be live. Okay, so be ready for that one. And today we're going to carry on with the voice of the creator selected excerpts. Now, if you're new to the YouTube channel here, you can always go to Kabbalah.info and check out the website if you're interested in the wisdom of Kabbalah. And if you want to study with like-minded people from anywhere around the world, including probably somebody from your country there as well, you can always go to CabU Academy and get smashing. In the interim, though, we also have courses here which are absolutely free, as you can watch them on YouTube, semester 1, 2, 3. They're a few years old. Lessons that are ongoing here are for guys who already done that and just want to have a 1 day a week kind of refresher with us on Tuesdays. All right, so let's get started. To hear the voice of the creator. Selected excerpts, so let's see how we're going to get on with this topic. Through our work, we will be rewarded with hearing, as it is written, and all the people were seeing the voices, meaning they heard the voice of the creator. Seeing means with the senses, which is a feeling in the heart, where each one by Mount Sinai felt that the voice of the creator spoke to him, and they had no doubt about the matter. This is called seeing. Similarly, when a person sees something, he has no doubt about it, unlike when he hears, for perhaps he did not hear very well. Therefore, we do not rely on hearsay, but only eyewitnessing. For this reason, at the time of the giving of the Torah, when they had no doubt that this was the voice of the Creator, it is called seeing, as it is written, I and you shall have no other gods, we heard from the mouth of the Creator. All right, so let's read that again. So this is an interesting topic because, as you know, in the wisdom of Kabbalah, the whole purpose of the study is to reveal the Creator. So the ability to reveal the Creator relies on the ability to develop a sensory organ called a soul. We don't have one. We're not born with one. We have to develop one. Okay, if we had a soul already, we would already feel things beyond corporeal reality, but we don't. So we have to develop it, and that's what the wisdom of Kabbalah is for. Let's read that again. Through our work, we'll be rewarded with hearing, as it's written, and all the people were seeing the voices, meaning they heard the voice of the Creator. So through our work, obviously studying the wisdom of Kabbalah, according to the Baal Sulam's methodology, which comes all the way from Adam, Abraham, Moses, and you name it, from the whole chain of Kabbalists throughout history. So we have to use that same methodology. And all the people were seeing the voices, meaning they heard the voice of the Creator. Seeing means with the senses, which is a feeling in the heart, where each one by Mount Sinai felt that the voice of the Creator spoke to him, and they had no doubt about the matter. So obviously, seeing the sound, there is no seeing the sound, obviously, but it's trying to explain to us, as you know, in the wisdom of Kabbalah, we have two phases. One is to hear the voice of the Creator, and the other one is to see the Creator. And on both of those occasions, what we need is a sensory organ. So seeing means that we're feeling the Creator in the heart, where each one by Mount Sinai felt that the voice of the Creator spoke to him, and they had no doubt about the matter. This is called seeing. All right, so there must be a situation where we don't have any doubt. Okay, zero doubt that everything is crystal clear. Similarly, when a person sees something, he has no doubt about it, unlike when he hears, for perhaps he did not hear very well. Therefore, we do not rely on hearsay, but only on eye-witnessing. For this reason, at the time of the giving of the Torah, when they had no doubt that this was the voice of the Creator, it's called seeing. As it is written, I and you shall have no other gods, we heard from the mouth of the Creator. All right, so this is basically the kind of certainty we need to get to. Okay, giving of the Torah is the revelation of the Creator. All right, so obviously you guys understand by now, giving of the Torah means there's nothing coming, there's no book being delivered by angels with wings coming down from the skies in a blinding light. Okay, so none of that kind of jazz. This is the revelation of the Creator. So the receiving of the Torah means that we've revealed the Creator. Torah comes from the word light. Okay, so it also means light. So the revelation of the Creator is called seeing. All right, you guys stop me if there are any questions. Excerpt number 2. This is from Rabash, letter number 41. And the whole of the people were seeing the voices. When the voice of the Creator is heard in the heart, that feeling is as sufficient as actual seeing. For man shall not see me and live. However, by seeing the voices, meaning by the voice of the Creator spreading into the heart, not into the ear, for the ear is external and only the heart is the man. Hence, the voice of the Creator must be felt in the heart. This is when it's called seeing the voices, and then each one lives in a world that is utterly good, and the heart feels that you have chosen us because it tastes the brightness of the upper pleasantness, and the sweet savor of the light of the Creator spreads throughout his heart. This is when we see, happy are you in this world, and happy are you in the next world. Right, that's nice. So let's just move forward until you guys have any questions. I really like these texts. They're very refreshing. Item number 3. This is from Rabash's article number 19. Why is the Torah called middle line in the work? And the whole people saw the voices. It is known that voice means hesed, which comes from hearing, which is called binah. Seeing is called chokhmah. As it is written, the eyes of the congregation are the sages of the congregation. Also, chokhmah that shines in vessels of reception requires keeping, so as not to receive them in order to receive. Hence, clothing of Hasadim must be extended to it, called voice and hearing. Therefore, the words, and the whole people saw the voices, mean that they saw that they received the light of Chokhmah when it is clothed in a voice in Hesed. Item number 4. As was said at the time of the giving of the Torah, we will do and we will hear. That is, first we will do mindlessly, and then we will be rewarded with hearing. So we can hear that what we're doing is what is good for us. Conversely, if we first want to understand that it is worthwhile for us to bestow upon the Creator, and then we will do, we will never achieve this. Okay, so there's a nice one there. As was said at the time of the giving of the Torah, we will do and we will hear. That is, first we will do mindlessly, and then we will be rewarded with hearing, so we can hear that what we are doing is what is good for us. Asla, you with me? Yeah, look what he said. Okay, so I heard your complaint, and it looks like the Creator heard it too. So we're reading about it. What is he saying? Let's read it again. As was said at the time of the giving of the Torah, we will do and we will hear. That is, first we will do mindlessly, okay, like a public servant, okay? Every day, getting up, doing it, getting up, doing it. And then we will be rewarded with hearing. So we can hear that what we're doing is what is good for us. Conversely, if we first want to understand that it is worthwhile for us to bestow upon the Creator, then we will never achieve this. Understand? Okay? So get used to being a public servant for the Creator, okay? And we'll see how things pan out. Number 5. Annulment is called doing and not hearing. Hearing means understanding, and doing is only power without knowledge. This is we will do and we will hear, meaning that if he has the power of doing, then he can receive hearing, because his basis is faith and not knowledge. Are you guys getting the idea? Okay. No questions? Okay, everybody's really comfortable. I don't know why you guys are all comfortable. We've got a Congress coming up in a few days. You should all be on fire, like on a barbecue. Right then, item number 6. We were given the work in Torah and Mitzvot in the form of we shall do and we shall hear. This means that by doing and observing Torah and Mitzvot in action, we will be rewarded with the state of hearing too. In other words, one must observe Torah and Mitzvot, even by coercion. There is no need to wait for a time when he has a desire to observe Torah and Mitzvot, and then he will observe. You listening? Yeah? Rather, one must overcome and observe only in action. But the doing will later bring him hearing, meaning that afterwards he will hear about the importance of Torah and Mitzvot. In other words, he will be rewarded with the delight and pleasure that is found in Torah and Mitzvot. This is the meaning of Israel saying, we shall do and we shall hear. Right? So Torah and Mitzvot here is studying the wisdom of Kabbalah with the intention to bring contentment to the Creator. So what we want to do is, Torah means the study. Okay, Torah is the study and the light, and the Mitzvot is the commandment. So it means that we need to study the wisdom of Kabbalah in order to change ourselves from reception to bestowal. Okay, it's not talking about religious deeds here. It's talking about an inner transformation. So look what it says. There's no need to wait for a time when he has a desire to observe Torah and Mitzvot. Okay? Because if you start waiting for a desire, it's not going to happen. Okay? So what should he do? Rather, one must overcome and observe only in action. But the doing will later bring him hearing. Meaning that afterwards, he will hear about the importance of Torah and Mitzvot. In other words, he will be rewarded with the delight and pleasure that is found in Torah and Mitzvot. And this is the meaning of Israel saying, we shall do and we shall hear. Okay. So look what he says. In other words, one must observe even by coercion. Right? So you don't want to get up, right? Okay, in the middle of the night. Okay, see, you don't want to get up, fine. That's fine. So what is he saying? He says, listen, you should do it with coercion. Okay. Not very attractive, huh? Okay, coercion. Otherwise, if you study where you always feel like you get a good taste, you can't get out of it. You can't get out of your egos. Okay. So you have to make sure you're going against your ego. This is why the study of the wisdom of Kabbalah always is against a person's will. All right? Against the person's desire. This is why it's saying we have to do first and then we will hear. If I saw the reward first, well, if you guys saw the reward first, you'd never do it anyway. Okay, so item number 7. When we hear the voice of the Creator speaking to the heart, as in, he who comes to purify is aided, and it was interpreted in the Holy Zohar that he is aided by a holy soul, meaning that the heart hears the voice of the Creator, and then specifically the voice of holiness receives the governance over all the desires, meaning the desire to bestow. And naturally, they will not turn back to folly, meaning he will not sin again, because all the desires of reception have surrendered under the desire to bestow. At that time, all the good pleasantness appears on the heart, for then there is room in the heart for the instilling of divinity, and the gentleness and pleasantness and flavor and friendship spread and fill up all of man's organs. This applies specifically when hearing the voice of the Creator. At that time, the whole body surrenders and enslaves itself to holiness. So let's read this again. This is a good one too. When we hear the voice of the Creator speaking to the heart, as in, he who comes to purify is aided, and it was interpreted in the Holy Zohar that he is aided by a holy soul, right? So there should be a time in our study when we get a soul. Once we get that, that's what the hearing is, meaning that the heart hears the voice of the Creator, and then specifically the voice of holiness receives the governance over all the desires, meaning the desire to bestow. So until we get a soul, okay, we're going to have to keep working like a public servant, right? Day in, day out. It's not so bad. That's what they do until retirement, okay? But the whole world is like that, okay? People are working every day, right? Getting up, 9 to 6 now? Okay, 9 to 6 until 66. Okay, that's the new retirement age I hear. 9 to 6 until 66. Very nice. So you guys should be used to it by now, no? And naturally, they will not turn back to folly. So the minute I get a soul, it means I can't go back. It's like I've entered in, all right? So that's the entry into spirituality, meaning he will not sin again because all the desires of reception have surrendered under the desire to bestow, okay? So if we just get a soul, it's enough for us to have a solid, sound foundation to keep building ourselves on top of that. At that time, all the good pleasantness appears on the heart, for then there is room in the heart for the instilling of divinity. and the gentleness and pleasantness and flavor and friendship spread and fill up all of man's organs. Obviously, organs are all our desires, right? Obviously, nothing about the physical body here. This applies specifically when hearing the voice of the Creator, and at that time, the whole body surrenders and enslaves itself to holiness. All right, so let's take a look at item number 8. You got a question? Okay. So Ingrid's asking, should one in the 10 even speak between the friends? Or should one just do actions that bring her closer? You can speak in the 10. It's actually good to speak in the 10. You should, but what should you be talking about? You should be talking about what you should be doing in order to advance in spirituality. Now, we're not sharing our personal spiritual attainments or experiences or so on. Okay. In the 10, what you should talk about is how to become stronger, how to do things better, how to advance faster, that kind of stuff, constantly. It should also be a time when you give each other inspiration. People should feel elevated when they're talking with the friends. It's like a yeshivat haverim, right? It's like gathering of friends we have. Like we had one on Sunday. Yeah. You know, it's like you come together, there's song, music, lahaims, and talking about the greatness of the goal, the greatness of the Creator, how important the purpose of life is, so we can elevate ourselves spiritually a little bit. It's okay is asking, what does it mean to hear the voice of the Creator speaking to the heart? Well, it means, well, it's hard to describe, but the heart is our desires. Yeah? So when we hear the voice of the Creator, I should sense that I'd like to bestow in my desires rather than to receive for myself. So there should be a flow of bestowing rather than reception. That's what it means. And it shouldn't leave any doubt in my mind as to what it is. Okay, so spirituality, once you enter it, it needs to be very solid, very clear, very like, you know, not leaving any room for doubt. Okay, so you can actually, once you enter it there, once you enter spirituality, it's like when you're perceiving reality through the heart, through the soul, actually. The heart is the desires. The soul is the mechanism, is that sense that allows you to use the desire only for bestowal, and that's hearing the Creator. Okay, and that should not leave any doubt at all in you. Patricia's asking, do we have to reach getting a holy soul before we can work in Lolishma? Lolishma is before, well, Lolishma is before that, but in every degree we have a Lolishma, okay? Because when my egoism is revealed in every phase, I have to like kind of see the Lolishma in it, and then I have to convert it into Lishma. So basically you have those two phases when you're working in Lolishma and then in Lishma. But as you advance in spirituality as well, in every degree, you're going to have that part of Lolishma, which then you'll need to convert it into Lishma. Okay. Michelle's asking, will we get our soul by following the study? We will get a soul if we desire to have one. The study can't bring me something out of the sky. I have to be the result of the study. And the result of the study should be me wanting to bestow, me having a need, a desire to bestow. Okay, and that's the important thing. At the end of the day, this is really important to understand, because we're a desire to receive, right? So that's given to us from creation. It has nothing to do with me. Okay, that's how we are. It's our nature. And the creator is the desire to bestow. What is us? What is human? What is man? Is the ability to turn that desire to receive into a longing, into a necessity to bestow. And that's the desire to bestow that we're adding. Okay, I'm not sure if I managed to express myself correctly, okay, or properly. So if it's not understood, it's worth asking about that, because it's important to understand what we add with the study. Right? That our study should bring us to a state we're just wanting to attain this power, this vessel of bestowal. Okay, and that should be what we're all about. Where are we? 8 or 9? 8. Baal Islam is from Shamati article number 241. Call upon him when he is near. When he hears the voice calling him, he awakens to repent. But this is the voice of the Creator, not his own voice. But if he has not completed his actions on the path of correction, he cannot feel or believe that this is the voice of the Creator. And he thinks that it is his power and the might of his hand. This is what the prophet warns about, that one should overcome one's view and thought and believe with complete faith that it is the voice of the Creator. Let's read this one again. When he hears the voice calling him, he awakens to repent. Right? Repent means obviously not like the religious there. Repent means I now have the ability not to use my desire to receive for myself. Okay? So I receive that power. But this is the voice of the Creator. So, okay, so the ability where I can be above my desire to receive is the voice of the Creator, not his own voice. Okay, so my voice is when I'm using the desire to receive for myself. The Creator's voice is when I've received the power to bestow, so I am now above the desire to receive for myself. I'm actually controlling the desire to receive with the power of bestowal, and that is the voice of the Creator. But if he has not completed his actions on the path of correction, he cannot feel or believe that this is the voice of the Creator. Why? Because he hasn't finished his correction yet. If there are still desires that I have not managed to subdue and have them succumb to the power of bestowal, then obviously I'm in doubt. And he thinks that it is his power and the might of his hand. This is what the prophet warns about, that one should overcome one's view and thought. So I should overcome my personal will to receive and the intention for myself, okay, my view and thought, and believe with complete faith that it is the voice of the Creator. Okay, so I cannot believe, I cannot have complete faith in the Creator if I do not overcome my desire to receive for myself. Okay. Number 9, if one listens to his voice, as in, Lord of your shade, one does not fall and descend due to the increasing affliction of the stimuli, since he sees and hears that the Shekhinah also suffers, as he does by the increased longing. Thus, one's longing grows and intensifies each time until one's point in the heart is completed with complete will in a tight knot that will not crumble. Let's read that again. Item number 9. If one listens to his voice, as in the Lord of your shade, one does not fall and descend due to the increasing affliction of the stimuli, since he sees and hears that the Shekhinah also suffers, as he does by the increased longing. Thus, one's longing grows and intensifies each time until one's point in the heart is completed with complete will in a tight knot that will not crumble. This is actually touching what I just explained above. What we need to add from our side is the longing, the necessity. Okay, that's what we should be increasing. So we are created as a desire to receive, but our desire to receive should be longing for bestowal, which is adhesion with the Creator. Okay, and once a person is in that state, one does not fall and descend due to the increasing affliction of the stimuli, since he sees and hears that the Shekhinah also suffers, as he does by the increased longing. Okay, so once we're in spirituality, what happens is you can't go back because you have a sensation of the Creator. Once you feel the Creator, that's it. You're like walking on thin ice. Okay, without feeling the Creator, everybody's complaining. Okay, when we're going to get spiritual, when we're going to have this, when we're going to have that. Okay, so once you discover the Creator, it's a whole different ball game, because now you're really sensitive to every situation, and you want to be really careful about not using your desire to receive for yourself. Okay, so you become much more sensitive, more, I don't know how to express it. Let's say taking things slowly, safer, with a lot of consideration, contemplation, okay, and no rush jobs. And when you feel that, then your longing also increases. Okay, because now, on the one hand, you're discovering the Creator. On the other hand, you have to make sure you get this relationship right. So you're really working on that relationship. And the intense work you're doing towards that longing, towards that increasing that unity with the Creator, is also increasing your longing. It's like you've met someone very special, okay? And now what you want to do is increase that love with that person, okay? Rather than keep it at the steady state, okay? So that's why now you're like a bit more careful in what you say, in what you do, in how you react, and so on. All right, this is the last one, and then we'll call it a night. Item number 10. The thing that leads to keeping from ignorance and cessation of adhesion is the connection and love and true peace in adhesion among friends. Indeed, without this, he is in concealment of the face. If his heart rushes to separate him from people over some hatred and envy, he should quickly run to his brothers, the friends who truly listen to the voice of the Creator. Okay, so this is also very important. A lot of people always ask why we study in the 10, and is a good example as to why. The thing that leads to keeping from ignorance and cessation of adhesion is the connection and love and true peace in dvekut among friends. Indeed, without this, he is in concealment of the face. If his heart rushes to separate him from people over some hatred and envy, he should quickly run to his brothers, the friends who truly listen to the voice of the Creator. Okay, so every dissent, every negative thing, I should compensate for in the connection with the friends. All right, so if you're running away from the group and you're 10, then it's a problem. All right, and if you don't want any problems, stick to the group, because if you got problems, it means you're not sticking to the group. Okay, and that's how it is. All right, because the whole system works in such a way that it's pushing you to connection. And if you're refusing to get connected, then obviously, well, you know, what do you think is going to happen? Right? It's not going to be red roses from the skies, that's for sure. Okay. There you go. All right. So we'll call it a night. Now we've got a Congress coming up, and we're going to start the Congress on Saturday. We've got the first day and the second day. So it's really important for us to prepare. So let's accept this as a preparation for the Congress as well, and keep attending the lessons, the morning lessons, the afternoon lessons as much as we can, so that we can prepare ourselves. Good Congress, and hopefully we'll get one step closer to adhesion with the Creator. And the next Tuesday after that, we don't have a lesson, so we'll meet the week after. All right, so have a good one. Have a great Congress. See you guys there. Bye-bye.